Hi, I'm Gino Mazamuto from Mazamuto Construction here in Martinez on another job. Come on in, I'll show you what we've been up to. Okay, so this house was built approximately 1930s. This is an old-time house. The style was back in those days when there was no air conditioning that there would actually be two living units, one downstairs and one upstairs. The downstairs was for the summertime. When it got too hot upstairs, they would live down here, so there was always typically two kitchens in the house, and then vice versa. In the wintertime, you go upstairs, and that's where it would be warmer for them. As you can see, we've stripped this whole thing down to the 2x4s. These 2x4s are the real 2x4s. They're actually 2 inches by 4 inches, not like today's wood, which is undersized. So basically, the gist of the job is that this was all knotty pine wood paneling. This stuff that I'm sure a lot of you have seen in your grandparents' basements. Although this is good, and we are going to save this, the customers didn't want it, and we wanted to update it. So what we're going to do is go through and remodel all this area as far as updating the electrical. We're going to take down the ceiling, putting new wiring in, basically getting rid of all the knob and tube wiring and update the wiring throughout. They have large pane windows in here that's going to get updated to new vinyl windows, good pane. We're going to put a fireplace insert, run a gas line, run some electrical, again updating all electrical through here, and then putting back 5/8 sheetrock. Now typically you would do 1/2 inch sheetrock in walls and 5/8 on the ceiling, but we're going to do 5/8 everywhere. And the reason for that is to give it more structural value, because this house is old and tasty. Okay, so here's another part of the project that we're currently working on. Again, this house was built in the 1930s, slab foundation. Over the years, they've had a lot of water issues because there's a hill behind them that carries a lot of the water down underneath this slab. So this corner has dropped almost 4 inches. The corner behind the cameraman has dropped about 4 inches. And you'll see in here that we found a lot of calcium buildup, and it's eroded a good portion of the foundation, mostly due to the mix that they used when they originally poured this foundation, and also due to the fact that there was a lot of water. Since then, we put in a French drain, which has cured a lot of those ailments that were caused by the water flow. One case in point is here. So what we're doing is, this was a small bedroom. We're extending the bedroom out and just moving it about 2 feet, the wall out 2 feet in this direction, just to make it bigger. Again, I've spoken to the homeowners, and I really encourage them to lay this out in a fashion that way, if they ever wanted to use it as a secondary income source by subdividing the house, it's already there, because we just finished the second kitchen for the downstairs. There is a second entry point here, so maximizing the bedroom space will basically turn this whole downstairs into a perfectly capable living area. So anyhow, getting back to my main point, is we moved this wall out 2 feet to maximize the bedroom space. But in doing so, what we found was this original wall, although it wasn't load bearing, had dropped a substantial amount, almost 2 inches. And the reason why is because it was put on 2 different slabs, where the old slab met the new slab. This slab was poured, I would say, as recently as the 1960s. This slab was original to the house, and you can tell that by not only the condition of the concrete, the color, the material that they used, but also in that time period when people built these houses, they used a lot of scrap that they found on the job site. Old pipe, old rebar, rocks, bricks, etc. Anything that fill in and tie that in and make the concrete, to their mind, more secure. So in this slab, you can see that there's bricks and everything. So moving this out onto the new portion of the foundation will increase the structural value of this. You can actually see if you put a level on this floor, this whole slab dips into this, where the old slab was. So we're going to move the wall here, close this door off, put a new door location here, potentially take this wall out that leads into additional storage area, and push this whole wall back 5 feet. One thing that we found, if you come around here and look into this area, is at some point somebody had built a raised floor that was about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches off the ground. And we were curious to why that was. A lot of times they do that to hide plumbing or some kind of pipe that's there. But in my experience, a lot of times they do that for no reason. Sometimes it's just purely aesthetics. In this point, they did this because, as you can see, they've had a lot of water issue. If you come in here and look, so you can see here that the water has eroded this foundation substantially. It basically turned it into dust. A lot of that is due to the mix that they used when they poured this foundation, but also due to the high volume of water that came through here. You can see this calcium buildup effervescence that a lot of people see in basements. That's typical when water seeps through concrete. But to this amount, I mean, you can actually scoop it up. I mean, there's literally cups full in here. And this has probably been done, in the course of 60, 70 years of water eroding through here. So again, we fixed the majority of this problem by putting in a French drain that catches a lot of the underground water that would have traveled to this point. But what we're going to do here is clean all this up. Again, potentially we'll take this section of the wall out and enlarge this whole bedroom, but we'll seal this floor and we'll seal this foundation. And depending on how bad it is, because we just got into this is only our 3rd day here, we might end up pouring a section of that new foundation just to give it some more structural value. But that's basically the gist of it. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, but by the end of the job, this house will be completely updated as far as the lower section. All the old plumbing will be updated, all the old electrical will be updated, all the lath and plaster will be removed and replaced with sheetrock, and we'll have a modern home. And to my mind, these old houses can't be beat for the sheer structural value and craftsmanship that was used when these houses were built. All this vertical and horizontal blocking that was put in, this is when houses were built by craftsmen, and you can't beat this kind of stuff. So anyhow, this is Gino Mazzamuto from Mazzamuto Construction. We'll bring you back at a later point and show you the progress that we've done, and I hope you have a good day and take care.